Today I'm going to make dilly beans that you are absolutely going to love having on the shelf. Well, hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. And today I am making, I'm super excited, I'm using the Ball complete book of food preservation. Okay, home preserving, sorry. On page 308, I am doing dilled beans. I call them dilly beans. And I'm going to be doing another version. So this recipe makes 6 pints. But there's another one here for mustard beans. If you guys want to see that video, please let me know in the comment section. But we're going to do just dilled beans today. These are beans out of my garden. I've been standing here trimming them. And so I'm going to get these all trimmed. And all I'm doing is taking the ends off. This one I already did. Okay, some of them I already did them. As I was taking them off the vine. So, and then I realized how many there were and said, okay. So, very nice beans. I am going to do them in pint jars. They're great for a charcuterie board. They're great as a healthy snack. They're just good. And you want to have a Bloody Mary and put a dilled green bean in there? Why not? Okay. And if you can your own Bloody Mary mix like I do, you don't have to have alcohol in it either. It can be a Virgin Mary, which sounds really good right now. So maybe I'll whip one up with some pickled asparagus instead. All right. So all I'm doing is trimming each end, leaving it as whole as I can. Now, a lot of these are longer than a pint jar, so I'm going to have to cut them again. And so there'll be a jar, I'm sure, that's just going to have chunks that won't. This is when you save those, if you've got a large amount of beans, you save those chunk pieces for your just your home canned green beans that you typically have in smaller pieces, right? Okay, all the beans are trimmed, except for that one needs another trimming. And I did a quick rinse outside, but I'm gonna rinse these really well. Look how gorgeous those are. Oh, they're beautiful. Anyways, I'm gonna rinse these really well and I will come back and I'll show you. I'll put the brine together and I will get the jars packed. And so it says, here we go, I'll let you know. Step 1, prepare your jars and lids. My jars are in the dishwasher, being sanitized. In a large stainless saucepan, combine salt, vinegar, and water. Bring to a boil over medium heat until it dissolves. Add green and yellow beans and red bell peppers. Return to a boil and heat. Okay, and heat. How are you going to get them in there dialed in? A sprig of dill and a garlic clove in each hot jar. Okay. Pack beans in strips. So they must be having you cut the beans. Well, they're saying cut the beans in jar lengths, but I'm not going to put beans in a hot brine and then try to pack them like that. Oh, green and yellow beans and red bell peppers remove from heat. Sprig of dill. Pack the beans and pepper strips into jars within a generous inch of headspace. Hot liquid to cover the beans and peppers, leaving a half an inch of headspace. Remove air bubbles just to headspace. Okay. Adjust the headspace if necessary by adding hot liquid. Wipe rim. Center the lid. Screw the band down until resistance is met and increase to fingertip tight. Okay. You are going to process these pint jars for 10 minutes. Anyhow, I am going to get all my other ingredients out, wash these beans and let them drain, and I will be back when I've got my brine ready to go. Okay, so I've got my bell pepper cut up in slices. I may or may not need that. I went out and picked fresh dill out of the garden. You don't want that. I'm going to pack. These are garlic from my garden. Look at this, beautiful. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. That's going 1 per jar. Big old nice cloves of garlic. And they are ready. And I'm gonna be doing pickled garlic here coming up. So if you guys wanna see that, let me know, because this garlic is a hard neck garlic, meaning it doesn't hold, it won't hold on the shelf as long. You've really got to get after it and use it. Or preserve it. You could make garlic salt, garlic powder, garlic jelly, garlic. I'm making all things garlic here pretty quick. So stick with me. And get those papers off. And they dried. I cured them for outside for it's been a good month. So the papers are real dry around each clove, which is what you want. Can you use it before that happens? Yes, you can. It's just, oh man, this is sticky. Sticky is a good sign that you have really good, potent garlic. So sticky. Okay, get that paper off. Look at that. Beautiful. Did that get off of there? Yeah. I only have a couple more to do here. And I'm gonna get my jars ready and I'm gonna pack my jars, but I'll get my brine going, and if I have extra, I will, and I have enough beans, I will just do another round. Oh yeah, this is super sticky. So I'll be back when I'm packing jars. Okay, I'm gonna start my brine here before I pack the jars. Okay, so we need 3 tablespoons of pickling salt, which I got it out and I didn't get okay, so what does it say? 3 tablespoons of pickling salt. So go ahead with the pickling salt. 1, 2, and shy of 3 because that other one was overflowing. Okay. Okay, then we need 3 cups of water and 3 cups of white vinegar. Here's my water. And I'll measure my white vinegar. Now you want vinegar that has 5% acidity, and that's super important for the proper preservation. Always, always, when you're canning, it's 5% acidity for your vinegar. Nice. Okay, and then you're gonna bring that to a boil till the salt dissolves. Pretty much that's it, and then it's gonna go over. So we're gonna put in each jar, it wants a clove of garlic, so that's an easy brine. Okay, so in each jar, where's the pepper come in? Pepper, because the peppercorns, it calls for peppercorns. Huh. Oh, 3 peppercorns in each jar. Okay, I got it, okay. 3 peppercorns in each jar. So I'm gonna get jars out and start that process here. And these jars have been washed and they're clean and hot and also are ready to be used. Okay, let's get set up here and I'll kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing. I'm going to be using 4 jars for the win here. 4 jars lids and bands. So if you're interested in buying lids, because it is canning season after all, 1 clove of garlic, 1 sprig of dill. I'm going to put a couple little red peppers in there. Now I'm going to have to literally put so some of these are gonna have to be cut. So I'm gonna have to measure my beans right there. This is gonna be my test bean, right? All my beans are gonna have to, man, that could be a little bit longer. Let's go. A little longer. Oh, that one's bent. So that one's gonna have to comply. Okay. That'll work. This one, let's make them a little bit longer. I'll save all those pieces for something else. Does that make sense? There. Let's see if this one works. Oh yeah, that's perfect. So that's how long I need my beans to be. That's my practice. So I'm gonna get all these beans cut and to the length I need. And if they're already the length, then they can go in. Those 2 look great. This one needs trimming. And I'm going to get a different knife for this. So that's what I'm doing. As soon as I get the jar packed, and I get 3 peppercorns. I'm not sure why it does that. But it wants 3 peppercorns in there. 2. And, okay, I don't think it matters if it's perfectly exact. All right, you get the gist, right? Okay. Hey guys, I finally got all the jars packed. I mean, I did add one thing to the recipe because if you would add dried herbs, you're not altering the acidity at all. I added about about an 1/8 of a teaspoon, maybe a quarter of dried dill. And I think I'm okay with that. Anyways, it came out with 5 pints exactly, and that's what the recipe, actually the recipe calls for 6 pints. So I should have plenty of brine, but I only had enough beans for 5 pints with the peppers, and I ended up putting 2 cloves of garlic in each one. So I'm filling the jars with the brine, which is just salt, vinegar, and water to 1/2 inch of headspace. So let me show you what that looks like here. It's gonna be beautiful. Now we wanna debubble, kind of get in there and get all the pockets down. And that changed my headspace just a little bit, so I'm gonna add a little bit more to make that 1/2 inch. I'm gonna wipe the rim of my jar. Woo! And I have my hot water here, my lids, my 4 jars, wide mouth lids right here. And I forgot my rings. Where's my rings? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna center that. I'm gonna place the ring on just fingertip tight. And look what a beautiful jar of dilly beans this is gonna be. It's absolutely beautiful. And pickled peppers are delicious. So in the canner, this goes to wait for the rest of them. Rinse and repeat. I will use the steam canner today. It's getting up to speed right now. Hi guys, I am back. And these actually went in the steam canner for 10 minutes. I had Siri help me out. Okay, so let's get this turned around so I can show you how pretty. When you get the dill and the garlic and the dill and all of this, everything but the red bell pepper came from my garden. So that's very satisfying to have on the shelf. All of the jars have sealed so far except for one. And the peppercorns, it's just a pretty product. So I am super excited. 5 pints of these to have on the shelf is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. My grandson will be super excited that I did this because he can eat a whole jar in one sitting. He will eat all of it in one sitting. So I'm just waiting on this jar here, and if it doesn't seal, I'm gonna, and it's one of the prettier jars too. I'm gonna put it in the fridge and not worry about it, but I'm hoping it'll seal. The thing about 4 jars, they don't pop, 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 pop as soon as the canning process is done. Sometimes they take a little bit of time, but I've had really, really good success with them. And so I hope that you'll go over. There's a link down below and you get a 10% discount if you use Linda's Pantry. All capital letters, no apostrophe. 10% off your entire order. All right. And then you have canning lids. I have enough canning lids and I will never go without having a year's supply of canning lids on hand, because what we went through in 2020 and 2021 was terrible. You know, it doesn't affect the mainstream people because they didn't care, but they sure didn't like not having stuff on the shelf. And while we were all enjoying the spoils that we'd already put on our pantry shelves, yeah. So anyway, I hope that you will go ahead and can yourself up some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dilly beans. They're so pretty. And yeah, they're going to be delicious. All right. I will see you next time with another delicious recipe. And if I do a pickle taste test video for you, would you watch? Leave me a comment in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed the video on how to can dilly beans with 4 jars lids.